To live visuals coming of world leaders arriving for the welcome ceremony. That, of course, is the Italian Prime Minister Mario Draghi, and he is receiving the different dignitaries who will be arriving for the summit for the first session to get underway in a little over an hour from now. Siddhant, stay with us. We'll come back to you for more inputs later in the broadcast. Once again, for all our viewers tuning into WION right now, these are live visuals coming in from Rome in Italy, where Mario Draghi, the Italian Prime Minister, is set to welcome the different global leaders who have arrived for the first session of the G20 summit, which will get underway in about a little over an hour from now. Once again, climate change and, of course, the global economic recovery after the pandemic remain the top issues at the G20 summit this year, as leaders of the world's most advanced countries meet in Rome in Italy. And this happens to be, in fact, the first in-person gathering of these leaders since the pandemic. This precedes the more crucial climate summit, which will take place in Glasgow in the United Kingdom. That is the COP26 climate conference. The different global leaders that have gathered in Rome as of now will be heading to Glasgow thereafter for setting their climate mandates. The stakes, of course, are high. Just recently, the UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres warned the G20 leaders that they needed to show more ambition and more action when it came to tackling their climate agendas. And there you go. That's the WHO chief, Dr. Tedros Adhanom, who has just arrived in Rome, Italy, for the climate change focused G20 summit. He is, of course, meeting with Italian Prime Minister Mario Draghi. Our principal diplomatic correspondent, Siddhant Sibal, is in the thick of the action in Rome in Italy, bringing us all live updates about the G20 summit. Siddhant, as we can see, Dr. Tedros has arrived for the summit. He has been welcomed by the Italian Prime Minister. His second term, and his next term has been officially confirmed as well. Tell us about the significance of this visit at a time when, of course, different economies are trying to move past the pandemic, focusing on global recovery of their economies.
Well, talking about the World Health Organization, yes, it has been under considerable pressure in terms of the dealing or the handling of the COVID crisis, and there are questions being raised. There are being calls for a reformation of the global health architecture, especially the World Health Organization, and that remains a moot point at various meetings, global meetings, and G20 will not be very different regarding that. Of course, when it comes to India's standpoint, India is keen for the approval of Covaxin. This is something that has taken a lot of time, and almost dates are given almost every month. And now the next date is in the month of November, early next week. And all eyes will be there that will the World Health Organization give approval or not. Already, India's Covishield has got the approval by the World Health Organization, and that has helped a lot of Indians who want to travel abroad for essential purposes. Because remember, while the world is slowly opening, there are, of course, worries, and the biggest worry is the ease of traveling of people. You just can't go to many countries as a tourist now. It's only essential work, of course, related, travel, of course, related to your work, or perhaps if you are a student. But largely, if you look at the G20 summit, overall summit, this is perhaps the most crucial of all summit in a few years. Of course, G20 has been meeting annually, and there have always been issues to talk about. But this time, the G20 is meeting amidst COVID pandemic, and largely there has been a lot of concerning issues, a lot of issues that needs consensus formation. The United Nations was found missing amidst the COVID crisis, and there was a certain level of dysfunctionality when it comes to the United Nations Security Council as well, which of course was not able to even come out with a resolution. Now, of course, G20 last year met virtually for the first time, and at the request of the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi, the Saudi Arabian host had two important emergency meetings of the G20 to deal with the COVID crisis, and decisive action were indeed taken. But largely this year the focus is not only of the the fallout of the COVID crisis. In fact, the twin crisis, COVID crisis and the climate change together dominate the agenda here. There are, of course, a lot of statements expected after the G20 meeting. The Italian host, of course, is very keen that there are a lot of outcomes in terms of dealing with the COVID crisis, the climate change, because every country which hosts the G20 would like to show that there were a lot of outcomes, and Italy is no different. In fact, India will be hosting the G20 summit in the year 2023, and for that there is a convention center that is being prepared at at Pragati Maidan in Delhi. Next year, we know Indonesia is going to host the G20, and for that an important bilateral is also expected between the Indian side and the Indonesian side.
Siddhant, just talking about the twin crisis that you mentioned, climate change now. We just had the UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres earlier warned the G20 leaders that more ambition and more action were required in order to set their climate goals. Climate activists have been saying that there's been too much talk and no action taken. Will we see important announcements, significant announcement come from the combination of the G20 as well as the upcoming COP26 summit, especially because climate change and its impact have been felt by all of us, including the host nation of G20, Italy, which was recently battered by the storm?
Well, when it comes to climate change, it's a very complex issue in terms of the world coming to a single point on resolving the issue, because the larger divide is between the developed world and the developing countries. Issues like climate finance have been something that has divided the world between the developed world and the developing countries. But what countries are doing, countries like India, they have been taking their own initiatives. The Indian Prime Minister in 2015, the Paris Climate Summit gave the proposal of the International Solar Alliance, and along with France, this organization came into being. It is headquartered in Delhi suburb, Gurgaon, and there, of course, there have been annual meetings. In fact, recently we saw the assembly, the International Solar Alliance assembly meeting. So largely, India is going to highlight what it has been doing on the climate issue, while, of course, the world stands divided.
Absolutely, Siddhant. In fact, we're getting live visuals of the UN chief Antonio Guterres now walking in to be greeted by Italian Prime Minister Mario Draghi. Once again, for all our viewers tuning into WION right now, these are live visuals coming from Rome in Italy, where the G20 summit is going to kickstart in a little over an hour from now. The UN chief Antonio Guterres has arrived as well. He recently warned countries that they need to be more strict and take more action when it comes to setting their ambition, when it comes to their climate goals. The climate emergency is the top focus, along with pandemic recovery, at this year's G20, the first in-person meeting of these leaders since the pandemic.